Hey everyone, it's Miss Amber, and we are back again this month with another first reads of one of the Charlie Mae Simon's reading lists. So today I'm going to read Pay Attention Carter Jones by Gary D. Schmidt. Gary D. Schmidt is also a Newbery Honor winner and a National Book Award finalist. And if you guys like a funny book, this one's for you. So I'm going to read a couple of pages of the first chapter for you. If it hadn't been the first day of school, and if my mother hadn't been crying her eyes out the night before, and if the fuel pump on the Jeep had been doing what a fuel pump on a Jeep is supposed to be doing, and if it hadn't been raining like an Australian tropical thunderstorm, and I've been in one, so I know what that's like. And if the very last quart of 1% milk hadn't gone sour and clumped up, then probably my mother would never have let the butler into our house. But that's what the day had been like so far, and it was only 7:15 in the morning. 7:15 in the morning on the first day of school when the butler rang the doorbell. I answered it. I looked at the guy standing on our front stoop. "Are you kidding?" I said. That's what you would have said too. He was tall and big around the belly and wearing the kind of suit you wear to a funeral. I've been to one of those too, so I know what a funeral suit looks like. And he had on a bowler hat on his head, a bowler hat, which nobody has worn since like horses and carriages went out of business. And everything, the big belly, the funeral suit, the bowler hat, everything was so completely dry, even though it was an Australian tropical thunderstorm outside, because he stood underneath an umbrella as big as a satellite dish. The guy looked down at me. "I assure you, young man, I am never kidding." I closed the door. I went to the kitchen. Mom was tying back Emily's hair, which explained why the dry ace Robotroid sugar stars Emily's was eating were dribbling out both sides of her mouth. Charlie was still looking for her other yellow sock because she couldn't start 4th grade without it. She couldn't. And Annie was telling her what a baby she was, and Charlie was saying she was not. And just because Annie was going into 5th grade, that didn't make Annie the boss of her. Then Charlie looked at me and said, "Does it?" I said, "You think I care?" "Carter," my mom said, "your oatmeal is on the stove, and you'll have to mix in your own raisin, and there's some walnuts too, but no more brown sugar. And Carter, before you do that, I need you to run down to the deli and..." "There's a guy on our front stoop," I said. "What?" "There's a guy on our front stoop." My mother stopped tying back Emily's hair. "Is he from the army?" she said. I shrugged. "Is he or isn't he?" "He's not wearing a uniform." "Are you sure?" "I'm pretty sure." My mother started tying back Emily's hair again. "Tell him it's the first day of school and he should go find someone else to buy whatever he's selling at 7:15 in the morning." "Annie can do it." My mother gave me that look. So I went back to the front door and opened it. "My mom says it's the first day of school and you should go find someone else to buy whatever you're selling at 7:15 in the morning." He shook his umbrella. "Young Master Jones," he said, "please inform your mother that I would very much like to speak to her." I closed the door. I went back to the kitchen. "Did you tell him to go away?" said my mother. I think this is what she said. She had a bunch of bobby pins in her mouth, and she was sticking them around Emily's head, and Emily was hollering and spitting out Ace Robotroid sugar stars at every poke, so it was hard to understand what my mother was saying. "He wants to talk to you," I said. "He's not going to..." A sudden wail from Charlie, who held up her other yellow sock, which Ned had thrown up on. Ned is our dachshund, and dachshunds throw up a lot. "Carter, go get some milk," said my mother. "Charlie, stop crying. Annie, it doesn't help to make a face at Charlie. Emily, if you move your head again, I'm going to bobby pin your bangs to your eyebrows." I went back to the front and opened the door. The guy was still standing there on the stoop, but the Australian tropical thunderstorm was starting to get in under the umbrella. Listen, I said, my mom's going crazy in there. I have to go to the deli and get milk so we can eat breakfast. And Charlie's crying because Ned threw up on her yellow sock. And Annie's being a pain in the glutes. And Emily's bangs are about to get pinned to her eyebrows. And I haven't even packed my backpack yet. And that takes a while, you know. And we have to leave soon since we have to walk to school because the fuel pump on the Jeep isn't working and we only have one umbrella. So just go away. The guy leaned down. Young Master Jones, he said, if you were able to sprint between wickets with the speed of your run-on sentences, you would be welcome in any test match in the world. For now, though, go back inside. In your room, gather what is needed for your backpack. When you have completed that task, find your mother and do whatever necessary to ensure that she is no longer, he paused, going crazy. He angled the umbrella a little to keep off the Australian tropical thunderstorm. While you're doing whatever is necessary, I will purchase milk. I hope you guys like it.